Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the Kreeger cast. I'm your host, Patrick Kreeger, and I'm joined once again by Matt.
What's going on?
We're recording in a new location today, so forgive the slight echo that this room's giving us. But we're back to talk about the next movie on the Meg-a-Shark 8-movie collection, which is Sharkman.
Violently, it's a weird one.
It's also called Hammerhead. Hammerhead Feeding Frenzy. Frenzy. And Attack of Peter Benchley's Creature.
All in one.
Yes. So let's start this off. Watch or don't watch?
Don't watch for me.
Oh, snap, crackle, and or pop.
Yep.
I would say it's a watch.
See, I think it didn't keep my attention. I was glued to previous shark films.
Toxic Shark.
Toxic Shark was great. I love Toxic Shark. By far, one of my favorite shark films, to be honest. This one, it should have kept my attention because, there's plenty of, quote-unquote warfare. But, tons of, human on human, fighting and stuff. And traditionally, I'm into that. But this time, I wasn't too into it. I got into this thinking oh man, Sharkman, this has got to be good. No, it was, I found it just a little, underwhelming.
Okay. So let me go into the backstory for my personal history with this movie. I saw it when it aired back in 2005 on the Sci-Fi Channel. It was part of a Jaws marathon. And I remember watching this film, and it greatly disturbed me because it was the first time that rape was such a big part of a movie.
Yeah, very weird.
So for those of you who don't know Sharkman, well, let's read the back cover here. Scientist Dr. King accidentally turns his son into a hideous half-man, half-shark while trying an experimental cancer drug on him. Starring William Forsythe.
I don't know if it was accidental. I feel like he, intentionally did this to his son.
I don't think he intentionally turned him into a shark, but he apparently mixed stem cells with shark DNA to make his son immune to cancer.
Yeah, I think he intentionally did that, but it was unintentional that he transformed him into a full-blown kind of shark with semi-human features.
And then he started feeding an unlimited supply of women at him.
Yeah.
So the point of this film, or the point that Dr. King is trying to get across, is he's trying to create a man-shark hybrid to take over the world. And so he's trying to get his son to breed with a woman, and apparently has to inject so many pheromones into these women that they end up losing the child. Otherwise, if he doesn't knock them up with all those pheromones, the shark man just eats them.
Yeah, apparently.
And so for some reason, or the reason that's given is they're checking in on where the money's going.
Yeah.
As the scientists go to see this new cancer drug that this guy has invented and end up having to escape from the shark. So, what were some things that we noticed about this film?
Well, there's a surprisingly large amount of trigger discipline I noticed when the IT guy that went with that group to visit the island and look at the experiment. He's handled some firearms before, and he made me happy with that trigger discipline. Although there was a underwhelming amount of reloads. I believe I only counted one.
I didn't even see the one you did.
Yeah, I saw one reload, and that was it. But I mean, I guess that's traditional with most gun films, of lower budget, kinds. So
let's talk about some of the shooting scenes and stuff like that. We noticed they reused a lot of the shooting scenes.
Yes, there was a lot of just augmented camera angles,
Yeah.
a lot of hip firing.
Yes, a lot of hip firing.
Classic. The only guy that seemed to shoulder his actual rifle and look down his, irons, was the IT guy.
Yeah.
Literally my favorite character. He is the best, and ended up surviving.
Yeah, again with his lady love that was the former fiance of the Sharkman.
Yep.
And I thought for sure she was going to have to use her ladylike wiles to, get them out of the situation with the Sharkman.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't have to see that.
Well, so am I, but I just figured it was going to be like a King Kong sort of thing.
Yeah.
But we had a couple other interesting things happen. They rented a bunch of helicopters for this film. They had 3 helicopters in the film.
And they had a couple Jeeps.
They had a couple Jeeps. They blew one of the Jeeps up.
Oh, yeah.
There was definitely a pyromaniac in the special effects people.
Tons of firework.
Yeah, they really did a good job on the fire. The CGI was awful. The Sharkman CGI was pretty bad. But they did seem to have like a Sharkman puppet.
Yeah.
But they don't show much of it. It's like a lot of quick cuts.
Yeah.
Which is traditional for these sort of monster films. But, they made it, so why not show it more?
Exactly.
This film wasn't going to be, this like amazing film. And they were more than happy to show the CGI. So why not show more of the puppet?
Exactly. That's my exact thought as well.
The other thing I find funny is like they clearly wanted, again, we're going to talk about like, this is a made for TV film. There's a ton of blood in the film, but very little. No, there is a ton of gore too.
There's a good amount of gore. But a lot of blood.
A lot of blood. There's a lot of like they just throw cups of blood,
just dumping just large quantities of blood everywhere.
And so that's kind of funny. And there's a ton of shark attacks, which if you like shark attacks on land. Oh, one thing I found kind of funny is this guy is the Bob Ross of genetics.
Yeah.
I said that during the film because the guy was like, oh, don't touch anything in this greenhouse. Things aren't exactly what they appear. They're like, oh, were you shooting to create these weird plants? And he's like, no, they're just happy little accidents.
Happy little accidents.
And then we actually have a call to Troll 3, also called Crawlers or The Crawlers. I don't know. Red Letter Media did a review of it a while ago on one of their best of the worst. But there was vines that like attacked a woman, kind of like Evil Dead 2.
I don't know about that, but they, similar to Jumanji or, I believe Harry Potter 1, they had vines that, attacked the guys in there. But yeah, that's kind of a cool feature. I didn't see that coming.
Nor did I.
I'm happy that they threw that in there. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, they set it up kind of because the guy like creates plants that are weird.
Yeah.
And so there are weird plants on the island. The only ones we see are that one and the one that gives the girl the bad allergic reaction, so she feeds herself to the Sharkman.
Yep.
Which was kind of funny. I don't know. It was unusual. There was a lot of women in tubes.
Lots of women in tubes, yeah.
And again, made for TV film, and they're like trying to get away with as much nudity as possible.
Yes.
So they like just cover up the nipples and the important areas. I just feel so bad for those actresses because that they didn't like go and get mannequins. They just paid some poor actress to sit in the cold for however many hours they needed to shoot the film.
Well, we don't know how cold it was. It might have been warm.
I would hope it was warm with as little as they were wearing.
Yeah.
So, Sharkman. It's not too much more to say on it.
There really isn't. It's kind of... See, that's why I was saying it's not something I would see again, not something I would recommend. It's not something you could watch at a party, not something you could throw on in the background. I mean, you could, I guess, throw it on in the background while you're doing dishes or cleaning or something. But
I think it's better than that.
See, yeah, it didn't hold my attention. It was kind of just a lot of just, I don't know, running around and
It is a lot of running around the forest.
Yeah, forest all over the island.
Because again, it's a Sharkman. It can walk on land.
Yep. Yeah.
So it does that. I did like the pun that the guy said at the beginning when they meet the doctor who's missing part of his hand. And they said, "Who's Dr. Mangold-la?" And I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't know. I still think for a shark film, it's a very different take on it.
It is a very different take. It is that, I'll give it that. It's different, much different than Toxic Shark, Shark in Venice, Malibu Shark, in that it's a human-like shark, can exist on land, and you're really not safe anywhere.
Yeah, and he's bulletproof.
Apparently, he gets, shot up quite a bit, and I imagine stabbed at some point, and hit with a buttstock. And
they only kill him by using plant fertilizer on him.
Yeah.
They set that up earlier in the film that like he has too much nitrogen in him. So if they get too much more nitrogen in him, he'll explode.
Mm-hmm.
So they force feed him plant fertilizer, and that's how they blow him up, which is kind of ridiculous.
Clever. It's a clever way to do it.
Yeah, it's a different way. There were no Jaws references.
No, there were none. And I honestly, on a very different shark style video, I like that. It's easy to throw in shark or Jaws references in like a traditional kind of toxic shark kind of movie, but in this going in a completely different direction, I like that it kept separate from the traditional.
I expected something, because there was a couple times where they shoot him with flare guns or whatever. I expected, the smile, you son of a.
Yeah.
But the where I really expected it was one of the ships being named Orca.
Oh.
Because there were so many boats.
Yeah.
But they weren't named Orca, which I thought was cool. There was an awful effect with a guy losing his leg.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was funny. Like, they clearly, they couldn't hire an amputee, apparently.
No.
So they just had this guy, hold his leg up. And often you can see his shoe in the background, and it's kind of utterly ridiculous.
Yeah. The acting was bad. That was great.
The acting. Well, there was acting in this, unlike Shark in Venice. Well, anyway, I still think Sharkman, if you like the concept of sharks on land and weird mad scientist thing. In fact, actually, when I looked it up, it's recommended as a good mad scientist film.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally what it's, what it is,
Yeah, if you like abominations of nature and implied rape, this movie's for you.
Jesus.
No, actually, I don't know. I really do think it's one of the better shark films because there's always something going on. There's always something happening. So, that's all I have to say on Sharkman.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I've got nothing more.
Okay. Next time we see you, we'll be diving into the Shark Attack series, which Matt doesn't know, but Shark Attack 3 is kind of famous. So, until next time, see you out there.